Hello everyone, welcome to HarmonyTalks. This is a series where I talk. That's literally it. If anyone wants to listen to my nerdy rambles, then here's the series for you. The last installment for this series was 7 months ago, and I kind of forgot about it until now. I told everyone in the last episode to comment down a question, and if I felt like it, I might answer it. And I got a whopping 0 comments. So I guess I'm just gonna choose my own topic. Alright, those who are close friends of me know that I have 3 interests. Those being infrastructure, object shows, and monster trucks. Oh yeah, and politics too, but I don't discuss that on YouTube. Other than geography and infrastructure, none of my interests have really stuck around for since I like them. They've always come and gone. One day I'll like it. Not really one day. It's more of a year's worth of liking it, and I'm like, I don't care about that. I like this now. So on. Whenever I regain interest I had when I was younger, I tend to keep it private because I honestly don't know. Why am I doing that? Why? But I don't tend to discuss it with anyone other than myself and anyone who may have that niche interest, because they're usually niche interests. Recently, I regained an interest, though, that I think you would need to know in order to understand the topic of this video. So I'll just cut to the chase. I like dinosaurs. They're pretty cool. My personal favorite is Shoutouts, which you probably have never heard of, but it's in the family of dinosaurs known as sauropods, which you may know under their alias of long-necked dinosaurs. One of these dinosaurs I will talk about in specific today. It is probably the most popular of all sauropods, despite most scientists believing that it wasn't even a real dinosaur until fairly recently. For over a century, people have debated whether or not Brontosaurus was a real dinosaur, which would probably be unheard of to most of the general public, considering it's one of the most beloved dinosaurs in general, not just sauropods, but dinosaurs in general out there. Brontosaurus was discovered in 1879. 2 years prior to that, Apatosaurus was discovered. They were both discovered by Othniel Charles Marsh. I am sorry if I butchered that name. One thing you should know about Marsh is that he was one of the participants of the Bone Wars, along with Edward Drinker Cope, which is a much easier name to say. I'm sorry, Marsh, but Othniel? What? Basically, the Bone Wars was a competition between Cope and Marsh to see who could find the most dinosaurs. Due to them wanting to outdo one another, most of their discoveries were not analyzed very well and were very rushed, which meant later paleontologists basically had to double check their work to make sure they got everything right. One of these included Elmer Riggs, a paleontologist who did specialize in sauropod dinosaurs. He came to the conclusion that Brontosaurus was too similar to Apatosaurus, basically arguing that they're the same dinosaur and they should be considered synonyms. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this was in 1903, by the way. However, when they mounted the first skeleton of Apatosaurus at the American Museum of Natural History, it went under the label of Brontosaurus. This specific skeleton is the reason why there is so much debate relating to Brontosaurus' existence. Even with Riggs' conclusions that Brontosaurus was a synonym for Apatosaurus, most people still believe that Brontosaurus was its own thing. And the label Brontosaurus was, as I mentioned earlier, far more popular. I'm telling you, Brontosaurus is like T-Rex levels of popular. Like children, even those who didn't like dinosaurs, grew up on Brontosaurus. Also, the skeleton that was mounted at the Museum of Natural History was not complete. It was missing a skull. So a dude by the name of Adam Herman designed a skull for it. Herman sculpted a skull that was similar to the one on the Camarasaurus, which, for those unaware, is just another large sauropod, which gave the so-called Brontosaurus a boxy-like head, something that is commonly seen throughout artists' renditions of the dinosaur. Fast forward a couple decades into 1975, some important news started to come out. John McIntosh and David Berman were studying skulls of Apatosaurus and Diplodocus. What they have discovered is that many Apatosaurus skulls have been known about for a long time, but have been mistaken for Diplodocus skulls. The skull that was put into the Brontosaurus at the Museum of Natural History was wrong, and it should have been an Apatosaurus skull, just like the rest of the Apatosaurus body. The museum then changed the label to Apatosaurus, and at that point onward, most paleontologists agree that the Brontosaurus was just an Apatosaurus. I said most, but not all.
some people still believed, like most of the general public, that the Brontosaurus was still a different species. One of those people included a scientist named Robert Baker. In 1998, he argued that Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus are distinct enough to be considered different genuses. His beliefs would later come into fruition, as in 2015, a study conducted by Emmanuel Schopp, Octavio Matus, and Roger Benson concluded that fossils of what were Brontosaurus was distinct enough to be considered its own genus. And that's where the matter stands at the moment. Most scientists are in agreement that the Brontosaurus is a real dinosaur. Now children of the 20th century can rest easy knowing that they didn't grow up on a lie. Thank you for watching this video. Most of the info for this stuff came from the website known as Prehistoric Wildlife. It is a great website, and if you like anything relating to paleontology, I highly recommend you check it out. Oh yeah, and about my new character guy, this is St. Thomas. It is a fictional region and one of my favorite games that I have turned into a Countryhuman. The sprites were created with a Picrew image generator created by Petit-Vivi. I can't draw humanoids to save my life, so this website was a lifesaver. So shout out to him. I'll link the Picrew he made in the description. The background that's been here for the entirety of the video is from Project Midnight, which is the game I talked about earlier with St. Thomas in it. Go check it out, it's really good. As always, comment a question or statement down below, and if I'm intrigued, I might answer it. And see you in a little bit. Peace.